says we're live. It says we're live. I almost said the N-word. About 10 seconds in.
We've only been here 34 seconds. Like, seriously?
I'm gonna try to last the 15 minutes. That's what he said. I'm gonna try to last the 15 minutes. But I want y'all to know. Everybody was clowning me earlier this week because I don't know how to work a damn Twitter space. And that much is true. We've been doing the show how long, Lyric?
Well over a year now.
Well over a year now. She didn't click the button. We were sitting here ready to go. She played the whole intro. She didn't press the button.
All right, pause. What I would like to say is, yes, I did forget, but that's the first time I've ever made a mistake of any kind, any like that.
Ever in my life.
Like, that's never happened before, and it'll never happen again. I never slip up like that. So, like,
how embarrassing.
She's trying to make it seem like that happens every week. Also,
it does.
Dani couldn't work this platform if she tried.
I don't know why. I'm literally so bad with technology. And the funny part is, like, the first few major steps in my career were all working social media, and I did a damn good job. I can't work anything. I can't work Twitter. I'm not great at Instagram. But guys, if you do want to hire me as a freelancer, I should probably not shit talk myself too much. Yeah, but I struggle, but then I always get there in the end, much like Jesus, actually. Throughout the course of his life, he had people that did not believe in him. He had people that were sitting around saying, Jesus, you can't do this. And he was like, all I want to be is a carpenter. And everybody's like, oh my God, perform all these miracles. And he was like, I'm just a girl. And people were so mean to him for no reason. He was just trying to be a good person and trying to build his little tables. And then they killed him. For what reason? For what reason?
Welcome back to the Dynamite Diaries.
Wait, how does everybody feel about the Dalai Lama? Right? Because I think it's a little bit, well, how do you know? Like, you pick someone so young, and you're like, this is the chosen person. Like pre-puberty, I don't think that you know what kind of person anybody's going to be. If you think you're the best version of yourself when you're 11, then I don't know what to tell you.
I'm not going to lie. I was a pretty cool 11-year-old.
Honestly, I was too, well, no, that's not true. I was not a teacher's pet, but I feel like I was grown when I was 8. So adults liked me.
I was already on a college reading level. I was already super into wrestling. I was the accelerated reader leader for the school. I was in chorus.
One of these days, we should show off our awards.
I think I'll accidentally dox myself.
Oh yeah, maybe actually. But when I was fun. It's not a fun story, but it's just like a crazy story. When I was in 8th grade, like I said, I went to a school where I had teachers from all over the world. Most of them were from the Spanish-speaking world. And when I was in 8th grade, immigration services came to my school trying to deport my teacher. And I've already told the story on here before.
No.
And all of the other teachers were running around like trying to get that sorted. That they put me in charge of all the 7th graders that were in her class. 8th grade me was in charge of the 7th graders for the whole fucking day. The whole day. While they were trying to, deal with ICE. So what did you do? Well, I was honestly I was so freaked out by the situation because I mean you just saw your teacher these random people because they came in the classroom, and she took our teacher away, and then my journalism teacher was like, Danielle, you need to watch the 7th graders. I went over there and I was like, hey, I almost said the teacher's name, but I was like, hey, this is the situation that's going on. We're just gonna chill in here, like y'all got y'all workbooks or whatever. And everybody was asking all these questions as if I was an adult. I didn't know. I had no idea what to do. But literally the entire school day. And then they sent me home with like a little letter to my parents about what happened and how, how responsible I was. But I was like, I don't know. I don't know why that was the solution. You literally could have pulled any other teacher from any other place in the school, and it was, you know what? Uh, Danielle's 13. She can handle this. But yeah.
Every bit of your lore that I learned, my jaw drops further to the ground.
It's fun fact for you guys.
Your lore, wow.
I'll write a book one day.
I think you should. I told myself to start on my memoirs, honestly.
Yeah, because I have the worst memory too, so like I need to write it while I remember stuff.
I think especially like once you hit 25, you realize, okay, like even if you live to be 100, that means that's a full quarter already down. You need to start writing something.
Nobody's gonna live to be 100. Look at the state of the world.
That's not the point.
Climate change is gonna kill us all by 2053. Well, nobody's making it past then.
Well, yes, but that's not the. All right.
I have a question before we get started talking about.
What do you have to say? What do you have to say?
Hey. I actually have two questions. One, right? Somebody asked me this today at work. How many owls would you have to see in a day before you were like, "What's going on?" How many owls is too many owls to see in a day?
In Harry Potter, it took what, 3?
I've never read Harry Potter. I've never seen it.
I'm talking about in the movie.
I've never seen it.
Oh.
I think I live under a rock. That's actually what I've come to terms with this week because I thought Cat's Eye and Kate Tronada were the same person.
Don't tell anybody. You should not have said that on a public platform. I can't believe you just said that out loud to people. Don't tell anybody else that.
I did. And what else happened this week? I've never heard of anything or anybody. I've never seen any movies. I just mind my little business, and I don't know.
You've seen movies before.
I've seen. Honestly, I don't like movies. I'm a Marvel person, so those are like movies that I've seen. But like as far as like other major movies, no, I don't watch movies. I've never seen Harry Potter. I've never seen Lord of the Rings. I've never seen. I can't think of, but like any of them. Percy Jackson or like the series or like I never read that either.
Why?
I think I had a real commitment from a young age to being contrarian.
Yeah, you're correct.
And I still live it now. No, honestly, movies they're too long, and I feel like a lot of times they're predictable, and I'm like, why am I wasting 2.5 hours of my life watching something when I think I know what's going to happen? And then I don't like reading books about children. So like Harry Potter or like movies about children. So like Harry Potter, I'm like they're kids the whole time. They're handling adult issues. That makes me unsettled. I don't like that. Same with Percy Jackson. I'm like that's not fun to me.
That's probably fair, especially if you didn't get into it while you were a child. Like
Yeah, I'm like as a grown adult, why am I watching teenagers or children do something? Like that's odd. You should be grown.
That's fair.
He was a kid, and from all accounts that I've heard, he was getting mollywopped.
No, he was. No,
a bit outlandish.
I was also a kid when I grew up, like watching it and reading it too. So like, the last movie came out, I was in 8th grade. Yeah, I was in 8th grade when the last movie came out.
I didn't experience any of those phenomenons. I did love the Hunger Games, but I never watched Divergent or anything like that. But
I never really watched Divergent. I read Divergent, so I read
the read them.
Yeah.
See, the other problem was that because
those books.
Because I spent so much time in my schooling learning in Spanish, we would have to read just as many Spanish chapter books as we did English chapter books. Mm-hmm. And so I, who did not want to work very hard, would just tell my teachers in Spanish that I was reading the same books that I was reading in English. In reality, I was reading none of them because I thought they were all boring. Again, like you said, I think we will talk about Dynamite. My whole academic career, I was just incredibly bored. I was a good student, but I was just incredibly bored. So I would find other ways to make trouble. So like when I was a kid, when I was in like 4th grade, for example, like we were reading this one book that I thought was so boring, and I did not want to read it at all. She was like reading it to the class, and so every day during like public reading time, I would like raise my hand and ask the dumbest question about the book. I'd be like, "So what does the color yellow symbolize?" And she'd be like, "It's just the sun." And I'd be like, "Yeah, but what does the sun mean within the context of this book?" And it used to piss her off so bad, so bad. She would yell at me every day. She was like, "Danielle, there's no deeper meaning to anything. You're just trying to waste time." And I was like, "Oh, so you don't support my learning?" So from a young age, I was a problem.
Wow.
Anyways, AEW had a show tonight. It was called Dynamite. It took place in Scotland? Question
Bro,
mark.
Dani, what's wrong with you?
I wish the doctors knew because maybe it would make my life easier if we could treat it.
I feel bad when I laugh at the stuff that you say because honestly, this is only enabling your bad behavior. I feel like when people laugh, it only enables you even harder. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's true. Um, to start off talking about Dynamite, I almost called you my friend's name. Your name is not Whitley. Lyric, do you think that you could pinpoint Scotland on a map? Be honest.
Yes. Yes. Why wouldn't I? If I can pinpoint like where England is on the map, I can find Scotland.
I can't.
Oh,
Honestly, the world geography, I like states geography I can do. Europe to me is just one big, like it's just like the E in Pangea. I don't know. Um, even though I've been, I don't know. But I was wondering about that today. I was like, how many people know where Scotland is in relation to London? How many people on the roster that performed tonight do you think could point out Scotland on a map? We don't have to name names, but what percentage?
I would say all the British and
I'm not counting all the British. I'm not.
I think
No
and
tea, no shade, no disrespect, but I'm not counting all the British.
and who's really smart? Queen Amanat is really smart. I know she knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, she knows where things are. Hangman too. I think Hangman knows where Scotland is on the map.
Wasn't he like a social studies teacher or something? He was a teacher.
He was
He should know.
yeah. Um,
Anyway.
yeah. I think I'll be safe with that. Oh, and Beast Muertos. I bet Beast Muertos.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That very very smart man. I know he knows. And that yeah, I'll go with that. And Mark Briscoe. I bet Mark Briscoe low key knows all 50 states and where countries are, just like he knows the dictionary. Yeah, I do. I believe that Mark Briscoe is one of those people who has like a ton of like knowledge you never expect them to, and none of the knowledge you actually expect them to.
Real.
Yeah.
I want to be somebody like that. But I think I don't disagree with any of your estimations. I think Athena could point it out on the map too.
Absolutely.
Anyways, so
yeah, never mind. I was gonna say
no, go ahead, please.
No. Okay, no. With that yeah, I'll say that later.
Lyric is trying not to get canceled, but here's the thing: it's inevitable, right? It's just a matter of when, not if.
I think we've all been canceled at least once so far. I feel like that's like level 1 of like having any type of wrestling account over 1,000 followers.
When was the last time you think you were canceled? Like where you were like, oh, this might be it. Or like the worst time, the most intense time.
The worst time was probably Big Business. Like that was a wild night.
Really?
The last time, I don't know. I think that was the last time like I really cared. Wait, no. I got like really, but I just had a lot going on. It had nothing to do with like the internet or anything. But when I like left Twitter for those couple months, I just had a lot going on. Period. Personally.
Yeah, you abandoned me. I had to fight the demons somehow.
I was still doing the show. I just left Twitter.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't think I've been canceled yet. It's just a matter of time.
You are you have. I don't know if this is a blessing or a curse. I think you're uncancelable. I think you're uncancelable because you have to, and I only know this now. And I think that's also why I feel like a lot of stuff rolls off my back. You choose whether or not you actually allowed yourself to get canceled. Like, nobody, like the pitchforks, you don't, no, the account doesn't get deleted or anything.
Just don't sell it.
Delete it. Yeah, like I can
you got me.
Like there are people who yell in the distance about me all the time. I don't see it. So I can't. If I don't accept,
so we were canceled, we wouldn't even know.
Yeah,
because you're already blocked.
It's out of my hands at that point, and so it gets to a point, and like you especially, anybody who's willing to have full conversations with themselves on two different accounts is not somebody that you want to try. Like there's not somebody. Anybody. Like, no, I don't think this is the girl you want to try. No.
I think that, it helps that we were both born woke and we just get worse. We just get more, we just acquire more and more knowledge, just start leaning more and more left, actually. So it helps that, you cannot go back into my, digital footprint and see any slurs. You'll never find that.
The problem with my digital footprint is that it is so far left at times that I have had to delete things.
I said some crazy shit, but I believe all of it to this day, and I realize that now, like, I probably have to tone it down a bit because, honestly, like in 2025, I should be saying a lot worse. I should be saying a lot worse.
The stuff that I was saying in 2018, 2017.
When I was a teenager, I was straight up like...
When I was in college, in my Black Panther era, yeah, guys, it was over. It was so over. It was so over.
Hey, I'll tell you what. As when I read Malcolm X for the first time in 7th grade, I became unbearable. And if you were to go back into my digital footprint, I'm lucky I didn't have socials until high school. Because if I would have had one in middle school, I would still be on an FBI watch list.
I was spending my spring breaks on civil rights bus tours in college, going to popular sites. I'm at Medgar Everest's house and I can see his blood in the concrete still. I'm literally walking around.
I'll tell you what, too. I was plotting. I wasn't just accepting shit at face value either.
Actually, I think we should probably wrap this conversation up.
You're right. This is how we get canceled.
Got him.
Anyways, guys, Dynamite tonight was so good. I really enjoyed it.
We kicked off with Brian Danielson wants to get in that ring so bad. Like it's calling out to him.
And I feel like, honestly, I feel like it's one of those things that, like, the closer that you are, the more that temptation pulls at you. Because if you were to, like, do, like, a clean break, which I don't think somebody like him could have ever done, a full clean break. But if you were able to do, like, a full clean break and remove yourself from it for a long period of time, you were gone for a long period, but you know what I mean? Like, then maybe the temptation wouldn't be there. But I'm like, well, now you're ringside, and the next step is for you to stand up next to the ring, and then one day you're gonna stand on the ring apron, and then all of a sudden I get my Kenny pay-per-view back.
He said Brian Danielson is calling out to him like the Green Goblin. What I find so funny is that I hope his kids understand how much their dad loves them. Because he is starving to get back in that ring. He wants to be back so.
You have a great father.
Great father.
You have a great father, kids.
Truly. Yeah.
If he wanted bad.
Yeah, really, really, really bad.
He has to wake up and choose his family every day.
And that honestly, that does kind of make him the greatest of all time.
And that's incredibly commendable. That is what you should be doing as a father, as a parent. Waking up and prioritizing your family let me just say this, right?
What were you about to say? Wait, what are you about to say? What are you about to say?
It's not even bad.
Oh, because I
It's not
thought
even bad.
never mind. I was thinking so.
No, well, it's not even bad. I was gonna say, you know, I know you got money. Nannies are not very expensive, and they're becoming less and less stigmatized now, right? Like, it takes a village to raise a kid. So you don't actually, I don't know if you need to be full time. I'm just throwing it out there.
Um, Brian Danson, our house is not a home until you touch down. It felt so good to have you there, side by side on commentary. You know what I know is really gonna give him the itch. Zach Sabre
Nigel.
versus Nigel is gonna give him the itch. There's no way that Brian Danielson can be ringside for that and not like force himself in.
And be normal. Yeah, no.
Um, Everybody got that one trigger point. Like, all right, you got me, you got me. You know, whenever Zack Sabre Jr. wrestled, Brian be out there. Oh, oh.
That should be me. That used to be me. That could be me. Yeah.
Next, we started off with Osprey.
Billy
Nothing
Goat.
beats Osprey storytelling.
There was so much I want to say about this. Okay, first of all, on your hands and knees for a sausage roll is crazy. That visual doesn't go away, brother. I need you to understand that we get to keep that screenshot, and you did it for a sausage roll. But you know what? Let me also add the British. I was on the fence about you guys. The British.
The Scottish.
No, I mean
Oh.
the British. Um, your food, absolutely disgusting. And I will not be silenced about that. The plates that I'm seeing, diabolical. And then everybody goes to Scotland, and all of a sudden the food is good. All of a sudden these things look edible. That's outlandish. So he gets out there and he starts talking. I got to be honest, William, I got about a third of it. The first part, I was like, yeah, okay, I got you. When he really got going and he started talking faster, I said, I have no idea what this man is saying right now. Even with the subtitles on. And you know what's funny? I never struggled to understand anyone's accent, period, because I grew up around people who had very thick accents. Will Ospreay, when he get in the mode, no idea, brother. No idea.
Hashtag not my English. That is
No.
not my English.
When John Moxley came out there, I lost it. I said, now William, I'm sure you're saying something along the lines of, we're gonna beat each other up on Sunday. I simply do not know. I did hear where he was just like, I wasn't cleared. First of all, that's stupid. Why? Why are we even entertaining this thought? Second of all, he was like, yeah, I understand the risk, bro. Like, I've been told, yeah, I could die if I step in that ring, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Yeah. What? Why? Why?
For an
We
unsanctioned match.
for an unsanctioned match, and babe, there were already 9 other people in this. We could have found somebody. You didn't have to do this today. Um,
Osprey be like, yeah, bruv, if I wrestle, I'm gonna die, bruv, but at least I got to pick up my own casket.
but a lot of times people die. Yeah, they don't get a lot of control over that. So. That's why we love you.
Oh
Shout out to Billy Goat. But um, yeah, I don't know why you would say that. This cage match is going to be. I'm worried. There's not a single shred of self-preservation among those 10 individuals.
They should have put Jetspeed in the match. Now, to be quite honest, guys,
Yes.
who's going to actually wrestle? on this on this right side. Oh my gosh, everybody is being held together by a literal thread and needle.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what?
Did you see Tanahashi Power Rocket walk into it?
Oh baby,
He
oh baby.
said, "You know what? I will say, I don't even think it was had much even to do with his knees. I do believe that he thought he was gonna have time to aura farm for the entrance. And what do you mean I got to rush out there? He was supposed to do the
First
kiss,
of all,
the baby, shake the hands.
don't rush my ace. All right,
Exactly.
don't rush my ace. Y'all don't get it damn well. But you know what? Like, God Lover's not even here. What the hell are these people about to do on
They
Sunday,
said,
man?
they said, listen here, your daddies don't come off vacation till they good and ready. They
And
said
who gonna check them?
nothing beats a golden lover holiday.
And
Okay.
who's gonna check them?
They
No fucking body. And you know what? Look, that was the only thing tonight. I was like, wow, everybody's here. Now, mind you, the way that this ended up, right? Like, or I guess that's the brawl after the first match. So then we go straight into, the trios match, Jetspeed and Tanahashi versus, um, you know, Mox and his gang. Because that's what they are. They're a gang of ruthless thugs.
can I
Um,
say something?
of course.
I don't know if we're gonna like it. Well, number one, this is my first thing. So well, maybe I should have figured because he is a generational talent. Mox feels like he's babysitting the Death Riders at this point. Like they seem like his group of bubbling buffoons, and he's just running after them at this point. He's by far like the best performer in that group.
Yes.
But they just don't do much and they don't add much.
They
Maybe
don't do anything else.
yeah, like maybe that's why like they're doing like the stat angle so to get him with a real hooper.
But I
Um,
don't want that. But like Claudio's not doing anything. Like you're not doing
okay,
nothing.
Claudia,
Wheeler Yuta's the son. And today Marina Shafir was just straight up like, we gonna get you an acting class, girl, because she just kept yelling, no! The whole time. You know what the problem is? There's no pack. That's the
that
problem.
is true. Hey, I agree.
And I really do mean that one because I'm a pack lover, a real packer.
A real pack.
Um, Yep, a real pack rat. But I always said from the jump that I thought the Death Riders would have been more entertaining if he was the leader. But that's an aside. I think even just him being in the group adds a layer of intensity, and because he really give crazy, like he
Yes,
really give crazy,
he
and
literally.
nobody else in this group besides Mox gives crazy. Like they're just standing behind him like this. Like ain't nobody worried about you, bruh. Um, and yeah, and nobody else ever gets the microphone, and nobody else ever like I'm not checking for you. Um,
They're just henchmen at this point.
you're just henchmen at a time where I'm like I'm over it. I'm over it. Let's do this, do the Mox Derby singles, and then everybody let's move on with our lives. I don't want Stat to join the Death Riders because that means the Death Riders thing will continue. Let's get it. Let's move on.
I want her to get close to joining and then decide that her and Willow need to go win tag belts. Um, I honestly, if it means doing something with Stat, I think I am willing to entertain it. Not saying like it's going to be great, but like I do think that out of all the women, the top women on the roster, she's probably the most underdeveloped right now in a singular story.
I
So
don't disagree, which is why they just threw 100 bands at her so we would stop saying that. But I I don't think that I
who is
think
she
the
wrestling
Death
though?
Riders, huh?
Like, but here's the thing. Think about the 100K match she won. Who is
Oh
she?
no, she. That's what I'm saying. She
Yeah,
100% deserves the $100,000. I'm
yeah.
not saying that. I'm just saying I think that we only did that match because they
Oh yes,
realized that she's not really doing anything right now. But
yes.
what I'm saying is I don't disagree with you about the stuff going on and the lack of stuff going on with Statlander storyline. What I'm saying is the Death Rider storyline has run its course too. I
Okay.
don't want Statlander getting involved in a storyline that is dying already.
Well, you know what I think? I think that they're going to shift it mostly to over to the women because I don't say that I want this, but I wouldn't be
Keep that.
shocked if they try to make a play at Shayna.
Keep that.
I agree. I think a much better final would be Stat and Willow versus Mercedes and Athena. I see the promised land. I see the light.
It will be. But the thing is too, right? Like, kind of going back to what we were saying about the Death Riders, what you were saying about them just being like henchmen at this point. Because at this point, what is the point of the Death Riders? Because you've lost the world title, you've lost the trios belts. What now are you together for? What are you avenging? What are you fighting for? Because you're not fighting to get back on to the world title scene because you're fighting as a group. You're not fighting directly for the trios belts because you're not challenging for them. You're not really doing anything besides waiting for that Darby feud. And it's like, all right, fine, we can get away with it for one pay per view at Forbidden Door, but like, what is the point? What is the point? Because even like Darby, understandably, has like something that he needs to get back from the Death Rider. He got to get his lick back. That makes sense. What is your motivation?
Yeah.
What for? What is the point? What are you gonna tell me? What are you gonna grab the microphone now and spit riddles about?
Has survived, but it makes me think that the baby faces might get absolutely slaughtered on this weekend, which I am kind of afraid of, to try to give them
No. This match is gonna be crazy because we haven't even really talked about the fact that the Young Bucks are in this match.
Yes.
And they're not to be out freaked. That's the thing about everybody in this match. There is nobody. I'm gonna put Claudio to the side and Gabe Kidd. He gonna try to stab Kenny in the stomach, but we already know that. But in terms of like, I won't even call it ego, but in terms of like wanting to be the memorable moment, wanting to be the guy, you got 7 or 8 people willing to absolutely go band for band, and that truly concerns me because whatever Darby jump off, Osprey's gonna try to flip off, and then Kenny Omega, his big age, gonna turn around and say, "Let me find something to do too."
No, you're missing. You got the order wrong.
Oh, I forgot about Ibushi.
Ibushi's gonna follow Osprey up, and Kenny's gonna be running after him. And then once Kenny start getting all wild and out, Mox be like, "Ooh, yeah, I love that." And then after that, Tanahashi's gonna be like, "Okay, where do I do my spot off the cage?" And then it's just gonna be like domino. No, wait, my fault. Then the Young Bucks.
So then the Bucks gonna look around and they gonna say, "We can't get out freaked like this."
Absolutely. Then Tana's gonna do his flip of high fly flow off the cage. It's gonna be really crazy. I'm excited for it.
Who bleeds first?
That's a really good question. Maybe Osprey. I want them to pop me. Let Kenny do it.
Yeah. But also be careful. Please. I think that it will be. You know what? Osprey's a good answer. I think that Gabe Kidd will bleed the most.
I agree. I do agree.
Osprey might be first because Gabe Kidd will bleed the most.
Oh, I also have. Is this a safe space?
Of course.
I'm gonna hold everybody's hands while I say this. Everybody hold their hands. I loved.
I know exactly where you're going.
What do you think I'm about to say?
That you loved the self-made debates.
Oh,
is that what you're gonna? Because
I did. I think it was great. Shout out to them. But no, that wasn't what I was.
Oh, okay. You go ahead. Because I'm gonna weigh in on that too. But you go ahead.
Okay. I loved the interpromotional collaboration that I saw in this episode, right? And in the opening segment, the War Dogs and stuff coming out. But I'm holding everybody's hands while I say this. The company is called New Japan Pro Wrestling. Why were
Why is everybody white? Hey, she's trying to be diplomatic. Hello. Clark Connor's hours. All right, come on.
I said Robbie X. Robbie X.
Just
Yo, so you can't get a hug?
No, no. They must hate that bitch because anyway. But
I said, oh. I started clutching my pearls. I said, oh.
I didn't realize this was an all-white party. What would Dr. Umar say?
I said, is Tanahashi the only Japanese person on the New Japan show? On the New Japan co-promoted show? Oh, my fault. Him and Hiromu. But that's still a crazy ratio.
That's not good.
That's a crazy ratio.
That's not good. To be devil's advocate. I mean, there's not a whole lot of people that don't work here on this show, period. But that's no, you're right. You're right. That's a little insane. So I guess there's room for everyone. All right. I want to add very quickly to anyone who tuned in.
Sorry, I just want to say this does not mean invite Shota Umino. I know
nobody said that. Nobody said that.
I know how y'all think it'd be like, all right, Lyric, fine. No,
Shooter. No.
We asked for Hiroki Goto, Yota
Tsuji.
You could do, or we have a list. We do have a list.
Shooter's not on it.
Yeah.
Now my aside briefly. Shout out to guys over at Selfmade. That was a really fun show and very well produced. And it did crazy numbers. Congratulations to them. And I wish them all the continued success. I will say, as a Pacers girl, like I said, my clip was right after Tyrese Halliburton. And Zero, I will go to war for you, but you are just wrong. There's nothing I can do about that. Wrong. Dead wrong. Because at the end of the day, right? Props to them. Everybody's great. These two people are not peers. And that brings us to the Kenny Omega glazing section of the Dynamite Diaries. For anyone that might be new, this takes place each and every week without fail.
Every single week. This is
it don't matter if he on the show. It don't matter if he ain't been here in a year. Yeah. What we will do,
absolutely,
is acknowledge the god of pro wrestling. So let me just say this: Kenny Omega, I don't mind that you weren't here today. I know a lot of people were disappointed, but at the end of the day, I'm happy that you're on Forbidden Door because we've waited very long for this. We're so grateful for everything that we get from you. We love you. We miss you. Can't wait to see you on Sunday. Mwah, mwah, mwah. The goat of all goats. What else do you need from me?
Oh my gosh, listen. I hope that the cleaner only felt proud when he saw the way his disciples were fighting for him up and down that internet. Like,
hey, oh my and God. I want y'all to know, for as intensely as you guys saw everybody defending Kenny Omega, because there's a very clear answer.
We were by far the most.
Lyric and I are a little bit crazy when it comes to that man. For some reason, we just cannot. We can't be normal. We can't do it in moderation. Kenny Omega, I'm working on it. But I don't see it happening. Kenny Omega, you have an abundance of soldiers, but we are your strongest. We are your most dedicated. Okay? And we will.
If you saw us in a debate with a grizzly bear about Kenny Omega, help the bear.
Help the bear.
Help the bear. I want you to know that the Church of Kenny Omega is thriving. Oh, we would have swept. It would have been eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard. Listen, Kenny Omega. No, seriously, even watching all that and hearing all the different values, I hope that you know, if you are watching this on the off chance, Kenny Omega, that you not going to WWE made you 10 times cooler. And don't ever let any of these people try to make you feel like you are lesser than. In fact, you are more, because you did all of this. You captivated the heart of the world.
And you built your own shit. You don't need nobody, no fucking where. You had niggas tuning in to watch TNA during the pandemic. You worked miracles. All right? Do not ever let me see none of y'all fix your mouth to say something about my goat.
Lips.
Your dirty, disgusting lips to speak anything. And you know what? I'll even take it a step further, right? I don't listen to criticism about Kenny Omega.
No,
I don't say one ear and out the other. You can sit here and argue with me and tell me all of your rational thoughts about Kenny Omega's current positioning, about his current booking, about his past booking, about his promos, and I'll tell you what, I don't give a fuck.
I'm gonna let you know right now, we don't care.
We don't care. We don't care.
We don't care.
There's nothing you can do to ever make me stand against that man. There's just not.
Nope. As far as I'm concerned, he's allowing other people to step up and be the face of the company because he's so gracious. He is a God who giveth, but he can also be a God who taketh away.
And as soon as he wants your chain, tuck it.
He's snatching.
He's yanking everybody's shit.
Every star in AEW is probably there because Kenny Omega helped in some way, shape, form, or fashion. If you think we see it with Hangman Page. Hangman Page, where do you think he gets a storytelling style from? You think that's where a feud happens if he doesn't come from the learning tree of Omega?
I have a guess. Jump scare. I you know what else I want to add, right? In addition to that, yes, I have made the argument before, and maybe I'll do a whole video on it. But like all of the major storylines that you see in some way, shape, or form can be related back to Kenny Omega.
Sure.
And all of the major signings that AEW has ever done on the men's side, every single one of those people has said that they, in part, are here to wrestle Kenny Omega. That is, you look
side too. When
you look up and down that roster, and you ask them bitches who their dream match is, and it's Kenny Omega. He changed broke nigga life like it's nothing. He is a miracle worker.
Do you think that Gabe Kidd would be in that steel cage match if it wasn't for that Wrestle Dynasty match?
Do you think Ethan Page would have got an NXT contract?
Well,
and I'm not even trying to be mean. I'm just saying, y'all.
Just like Mercedes, like when my goats decide to change y'all lives, they really do. They really do give it and take it away. When they want to give you enough to get signed, they'll give you enough to get signed. When they want to give you enough to push you up the card a little bit, maybe they will. When they don't care, you get the hits.
And that's what some of y'all deserve. And you know what? Last thing on Kenny Omega, right? Because we don't even have this argument because we would never put CM Punk and Kenny Omega in a GOAT conversation. Never. We would never do that. But what I will say
go ahead.
Is my simple point. CM Punk took his ball and went home because he felt disrespected for the better part of a decade just to go back and say, actually, everything was fine and I was never disrespected. Kenny Omega was seeing 3 of everything and putting on 5-star matches. Motherfucker was dying, putting on better matches than most people will ever do.
At full strength.
That MJF match.
Full strength.
And could you imagine? I'm like literally some of the best years of Kenny Omega's career. He could not see straight. He could not lift his arms. They had to point to where the ring was and help him into it. And guess what?
They rung that bell and he activated like the Windsor Soldier.
None of you bitches can lace his boots. Fuck y'all. Anyway.
And that's it.
We need sound effects.
Exactly. I don't know. There's no better way to say it. I felt insulted in the first place. Don't get me wrong. I think it was great, the debate or whatever.
Yeah.
It's insulting.
Super entertaining.
In the first place. So, like, they are not peers.
They're not peers.
They are not peers. If you want to talk about Kenny and Danielson, okay, that's a conversation.
Exactly.
It's a conversation between peers.
And it's a good faith one. You can't sit up here and tell me in good faith.
I would compare Kenny Omega and AJ Styles before I compare Kenny Omega to CM Punk.
Agreed.
Like, I think that when we're talking about the actual greats of that generation, Kenny, Danielson, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. I think for North America, this is who we need to be talking about.
Mm-hmm. Y'all pulled Phil out of nowhere.
Y'all pulled Phil. Like, who?
No tea, no shade, no disrespect, because I don't even hate the man. I'm indifferent towards him. But
what are you doing here?
Ariana, what are you doing here? That's all.
That's all. Here's the thing. It's okay to disagree, right? Like as far as, but
not about this.
You need to be honest about when you talking about GOAT conversations, we're all entitled to love who we love, right? But there are categories. And sometimes some of the people that y'all picking, they're not in the same category.
You know that video of Phaedra? You just made that up.
CM Punk is an A. He is an A-tier wrestler. A-tier all time, right? But Kenny Omega is an S.
And if there's a tier above that, G.
God. Whoa.
God.
God. You got to say God. Or just the type, like, come on.
Yeah.
You got to think, like, when...
And I totally understand, where those two names come from, because they're both headline grabbers and they're both, people feel very strongly about both sides. At the end of the day, right? You can't just make shit up.
And here's the thing, also, let's just be fair. People feel strongly about Kenny Omega 9 times out of 10 because of his wrestling and solely his wrestling. Nothing to do with his personal life, nothing to do with how he acts. It's his wrestling alone that causes everybody to have strong feelings on him. Most wrestlers can't say that.
True.
To just let their body of work be the body of work. That's the conversation. That's the conversation.
Yeah. I'm like, I said it in the little clip for him, but Kenny Omega's matches are against people that knew how to wrestle. And at the end of the day, that makes a big difference. But we should do a debate. We should do a lot of debates.
We should do a lot of debates.
You have an idea? Like what should we debate? We agree on a lot of stuff. Where do we differ?
I don't think we really disagree on like anything other than maybe like
major.
Nothing major. That's why I say it would have to be a team thing. Like I think we just have to tag team somebody.
We're calling out Jalen and Chloe. Deeply unserious. But we agree on a lot of stuff too.
Yeah,
But it's okay. It can be like debate. You don't have to agree with it. You can just have to defend it.
We're just gonna have to do it with men. Because we always disagree with men.
I don't like hearing them talk.
Well, I feel I've never felt more confident though that you would win one of these things. I feel like if there was ever like a debate parlay, I would put all my money on you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That actually does. That means a lot to me.
I said, Dani in one of these? I said, first of all, there was a moment around the end of the debate where like you could tell Ibu started giving up and coughing, please. I said, Dani would never do that. Let me tell you something. Even if she knew she's gonna be lost,
No.
She's already lost. She's gonna keep swinging. She's gonna keep swinging like she's gonna win this thing. Like y'all, like stand up, be a man.
It's important to be crazy. Exactly. If you 10 toes down on something, don't lift your pinky toe. I mean it. Everything I say, I mean, for better or worse. I wish I could be different. But no, you and I together, like I don't think there's anybody on this app that could
No,
stop the two of us together.
because actually, I think Dani will have the passion, and I will bring the facts. Like I will literally, well, actually, according to cage match,
And we're
accordingly,
both crazy. We would research for months.
and like literally, I'll start twitching because when somebody said, "Yeah, I want to put my goat up against Kenny Omega," you do
No, you don't.
start
No,
twitching.
you don't.
No, you
No,
don't.
you don't. Because
There's very few people who I think can even put together a legitimate argument. Like I'm not even. I honestly, even if it was an easy win, I wouldn't even really entertain certain battles unless like it's somebody reputable. Because I wouldn't even want to.
we could do Danielson.
I think that's fair. Somebody else
That
who
could
just
be fun.
battle it. I think Danielson's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't think anybody can really lose going off that because those are reasonable answers.
Absolutely.
Y'all start making shit up sometimes.
Like
But shut up, Stephanie.
there's very few actual peers. Like they don't like. I just I feel like as Kenny
Most of
gets
y'all are just there.
older, y'all are getting more comfortable like playing with him, and I think we just need to
Exactly.
I don't care that such and such is 45 or 47 and they on their retirement road over there pushing out 3.5. What Kenny Omega has done and will do and didn't run from the grind, stop playing, literally stop playing with me. Look at his. I remember. I don't know if you heard this part in the debate, and because Ayo had just said, yeah, Takesha just won the G1 Climax and Hangman's World Championship.
His son.
And he said, well, Cora Jade was really inspired by Punk. I said,
Court.
Boo!
I'm not trying to be mean.
Boo!
I'm not trying to be mean.
Talking
Takeshita just won the G1 fucking Climax. Hangman Adam Page is champion of the world. Those are his sons. That's his genealogy.
They're demigods. Literally. They are demigods.
You know what, Lyric? This is where we're getting so worked up. Nobody is arguing with us. Nobody is arguing with us. He wasn't on this damn show. And it's been 15 minutes.
I just want people to think in advance.
We die about this shit.
Like, do you understand? You type Cora Jade, not practice, not the game, but practice. What are we talking about? I digress. Let's get on with Dynamite.
Kenny Omega, we love you. In summary, mwah, greatest of all time.
Truly. Wow. Also, Darby, why are you always in a body bag? Like, this is like the third week in a row.
You think it's the same one, or you think you?
No, it's definitely a different one. This one's a little bit shinier.
And like, how do you explain buying 3 body bags? Because did you get them on Amazon, or did you walk into a Home Depot?
And how did y'all not know it was Marina in there? It wasn't Marina. Where's Marina? Actually,
you silly goose. Well,
Osprey tapped her on the shoulder like Pippi Longstocking and said, "Hi."
Man, we've been on Osprey ass since
No, here's the thing. I feel like I'm only doing this because I actually missed him a lot, and
me too. And whenever I jest about Osprey, it's just that I'm jesting because I think that he is so jovial and fun that it makes me laugh. But yeah, no, we on your ass a little bit. This whole thing was very funny to me today. Because what the hell are you talking about?
What does he be talking about?
Why are you on all fours for a sausage roll? Hello? Anyway.
He's such an interesting guy.
Truly. Come on, Black Girl Wrestling. It's not even a fucking joke anymore.
Also, okay, yeah, hell yeah.
Well, yeah.
Roddy and Kyle coming out and beating on the Bucks. That was, what, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know where that came from. I don't care.
I want it.
The match was announced for Collision. Yeehaw. Super excited about it. I felt it. We all felt it. It's going to be a great time. You know what? Well, you know what? We'll get there when we talk about FTR versus Bertito, because that's where.
Oh yes, we will. We will. We will certainly get there.
Really
yes.
are. Also, I wanted to see David Finlay, but
no.
I wanted to see David Finlay, but I do.
Oh my god!
I wouldn't have wanted him to like come back on TV like in the shuffle.
You want another white boy in this? Wow.
I would have switched him out
for
something got had out there tonight.
Lyric said, wow, just not enough.
I would have just swapped. Not added, swapped.
Another one, the caucasity.
Honestly, Lord. I don't think we needed all of them. I'm
ready to make cuts, but you know.
I will say I wouldn't be opposed to a Drilla versus Hobbs match. I felt like that was really. I think Hobbs could be a really good, never open weight champion one day.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So yeah,
Hobbs, we love you.
Yeah, listen, David Finlay, you have a fan in me. Dani is one of those people. Unfortunately, once she's already made a stance on something, she will not let new information change her mind. Is she closed-minded for that? Absolutely, but that's who she is.
Yep. I think as long as you acknowledge it, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, no. I feel like you have a limit on how many people you can use that against. I think. What did Jayla say?
No.
I forgot which one of them said. They said you have a limit of 3 people you can do that against.
You're
30, and so we do need to. I think we need.
You don't need. Here's the thing, right? I've always said, right? You don't need a reason to hate. You do need a reason to be mean. I do not go out of my way to be mean to David Finlay because I don't have that much energy towards you. Hating is different. I can just say I don't fuck with you, and I don't need a reason for that.
I don't think that you've even given his newer stuff a chance.
Yeah, you're right. Because I don't fuck with him. And I'm not going to be mean about it, but I am going to tell the truth.
Here's the thing. David Finlay is a good wrestler. Like, he is a good wrestler now. He was a shitter at one point. I'll be honest. I'm not going to lie about it. He was.
Here's the thing. People don't grow on me. They actually just, like, grow away from me. So if I don't fuck with you initially, it's not going to increase. That will not get better. It will only get worse. It's a very tight, exclusive circle, and most people will never achieve it. David Finlay, I'm not even trying to be mean. I will never stand up there and wave your flag. Jay White, I will never stand up there and wave your flag. Clark Connors, I don't feel the same way about you that I do about David Finlay, but I'm unmoved by you. Who else? There's plenty of people, but I'll leave that there. We'll move on.
Fair. Next, what happened? We had the Christian and Cope came back.
Here Daddy Go is crazy. Sorry, God.
They had the interview, and Nick Wayne is injured, and Luchasaurus is back. I think that was Jack Perry. Do you think that was Jack Perry in that video?
I actually don't. And here's what I say. Last week when we were sitting up here, we were like, the elite have kind of retrained our brains to think that everything is a clue. I don't necessarily think that this. I think that this might have been one of those situations where we're putting more thought into it.
I don't think so. And let me tell you why. I'm so glad that you said that. The reason why I don't is because I feel like clearly when they were shooting this little segment, right, the vibe was kind of like a hospital or type something like that, right? And so clearly we have on the gloves. So I felt like if they wanted it to just be a generic medical professional, that person would have been wearing like scrubs or some type of medical cover. However, that jacket, and even if you look at the end, like it's like it's the jacket is open, like it's not buttoned or anything. That is a scapegoat jacket. Like you could tell from the collars and you could tell from the trim. Like that is not something that a medical professional is wearing.
Hey, I don't disagree with you, but I just want you to know how you sound.
I don't mind that. Yeah,
And
I
you're
don't.
like, no, but you guys don't understand the trim of the jacket means it.
Here's the,
I,
I would like
I actually think that you're right. I understand exactly where you're coming from. I don't necessarily think that. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that. I'm not sold yet. What I
also
will say,
oh, go
huh?
ahead. I'll
Go
say
ahead.
this is also why I think that. I also think that is because how do I say this? I think that Kip Sabian was very much a part of the deal with Nick Wayne. And if Nick Wayne is injured, it's kind of
There's
like
no
Kip
need for Kip Sabian.
exactly. And so it feels
Add
like
him
now,
to my list.
yeah, because we're putting Luchasaurus back in here, I think like we're just gonna upgrade this entire unit, especially if Nick Wayne is gonna be out for a while. Go ahead.
Hey, we can bring back Jurassic Express to fight Edge and Christian. That would move me. I I want to say, well, two things. One, three things, quickly. Nick Wayne being injured, I really do think sucks because I think this was a real, I tweeted this, but I think this was a real opportunity for this to be like his feud, his stepping into himself and his like moment to kind of take over in a moment where like neither Edge, what's that nigga name? Could neither cope or, Edge and Christian, neither one of them were doing their best work. I feel like it really could have been an opportunity for Dick Wayne to kind of step into himself. So I am bummed out about that. Incredibly glad to see Luchasaurus back. Like,
Absolutely, yeah.
your aside from wrestling, your health was in serious peril for a long time, and so I just think it's great that you're feeling better. That's amazing. We love to hear that. I've always enjoyed you as a wrestler, so I'm excited to see you back in the ring as well. Um, if Jack Perry is coming back, it needs to be to grab that tag rope
And do a flip.
and do a flip in there
Do a flip.
expeditiously. Do a
We
flip,
need to do a flip.
and there's no need to be. I could argue till the cows come home about Jurassic Express, but at the end of the day, right? I think it's the same thing with Jurassic Express as it was with um, Starks and Hobbs, as it was with um, yeah, a lot of people. Just because you want to be a single star doesn't mean it's your moment to be a single star.
I agree. I think a lot of teams
And
were split up way too early.
yeah,
And the only
and
one that actually
and
really
it left, and it sometimes it leaves one person caught out, and the other person like flourishes, and sometimes it leaves you both caught out. And I understand the desire to take the next level and to stand as your own person as a single star. At the same time, especially somewhere like AEW, and what I think has maybe come to light now is that the tag division is not a demotion. We've talked about it a million times on this show, but like the top people in this company have all, been in tag teams, been in high value tag matches. It's not a demotion and it's not like a permanent thing. And so I think that people need to stop viewing it that way in pursuit of single success when you don't know if you're ready. Especially in a roster this stacked that just continues to get more and more stacked. Like, if you're not sure, keep grabbing that tag rope.
I think it even
Thank you.
too, like to even grab that tag rope, like you got to show some type of improvement. Like you have to actually give effort. I think, and also too, you have people in the company who are setting that example, who are having really good tag matches, even if they're not in tag teams. Like I think Osprey and Swerve were really good examples. I think that there
Yeah.
was a Fightful report, like they were going to stay together if it wasn't for Osprey's injury. Like they were going to
Yeah.
stay together for a while, and like I don't think that that's anything wrong to do it. Two really good singles wrestlers, if like the title pictures are really clogged up of grab. This is why I'm also ready for Mox to grab the Death Riders. By the time like we can
You're
use
not even doing that.
we can really use Mox in the tag division. Like when I saw him doing that tag match with Yuta versus Jetspeed, I said Mox was kind of like carrying, and I was like, imagine if we put like a really energetic partner next to him, like this would
Like a who?
It sucks because honestly, the BCC would have been a great transition for him, like going back to a baby face, like if the BCC happened after the Death Riders rather than before. But it is what it is at this point. I don't know. Eddie Kingston probably is the best.
Eddie Kingston, come home, the kids miss you. But yeah, what was next? Where
After
were we even?
that, we had Max called Ricochet Ball, then asked for his help
And let me
backstage.
say this. Wait, pause. Um, don't. Why are you laughing? Maybe it's gonna be an insightful deep
Nothing's
take.
funny. Nothing's funny.
Um, no, I just want to say I've been um anti-bald agenda for way longer than I was anti-bald before it was cool. And it's just important for me to relay that.
That's
The
fair.
bald and the British were my two, you know, I won't say targeted, but two demographics that
That you targeted?
no that I have been known to talk crazy about at some point. That I mean. Um,
Okay. Next we had
but also, oh, no. I was just gonna say from a storyline perspective, right? Like the whole thing with Ricochet. Okay, you're both heels, so we're gonna team up and do this one heel thing together, all in the course of one episode. When like we could have stayed an extra week with you and the Hurt Syndicate, and they could have done that. But like, I digress.
I will say I do appreciate that AEW is like doing it feels like they're going the extra mile to patch up the holes on screen, right? But because they're doing that, they're making it like super obvious
Obvious,
when there was like a really quick pivot on something. Like we're like covering band-aids over this and this.
exactly.
It's just like yes, you technically made it make sense, but you did it in like such a
But
convoluted
like,
way. It's so hard to keep track.
we're not stupid. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, you like you said, you doubling back and trying to put band-aids on shit. We're not stupid. And I have brought it up every week since it's fucking happened. The most obvious example to me was when Darby put his world title shot on the line against Moxley in the first place because he said Danielson's not going to be able to perform, and then Danielson main evented and wrestled that same night. That don't make no
Yes.
fucking sense.
The rest
All
of night,
right,
same day.
that's what set us up for a year of this shit and recovery work. So I would just prompt folks. Um, when those creative meetings happen, think about, and then what would be after that? You know, um, just
Like
float the
please.
ideas. Just float the
Um,
ideas.
Next we had FTR versus Brodito. Um, I really
Bandito.
really like this match. I think that this has been a really great year for the tag division. But unfortunately, none of the good things to do with the tag division have anything
Have
to
to
do
do with the
with
tag champions.
um these tournament matches have been outstanding.
Fucked.
Like,
Oh,
and I will
that
say
too.
part of it is because I think you have the vets of the division. They really performed well. Young Bucks and FTR have been really motivated. And then you have these new additions,
Jetspeed.
Jetspeed, Brodito,
Big Brodito.
like,
Yeah,
oh my
it's
God.
been great.
It's been
And
really great.
I mourn every day the fact that they put them on opposite sides of the bracket, so we did not get Jet Speed versus Brodito. But I'm gonna get it somehow. This match was really good. Oh, I also want to say I tweeted like it was like a meme from like a few years ago that was like I tweeted y'all defended FTR like they didn't find human remains in a house in LA in
I was
2013.
gonna say that. Who did they say that about? Was it Oprah?
Yeah, like something was like years ago, and so
They
I
said it
tweeted
about
that,
Oprah, right?
and people are like, oh my god, did you seriously like that's not funny. Why aren't we talking about this? Oh, because I made it up. So I And so I put out an apology and I was like, I'm sorry that I spoke ill of Baldy Glocks. I did not intend to offend. We didn't find that evidence yet. If there, there is anything to be found. But yeah, I was like, first of all, if your source of information is Black Girl Wrestling, then you
You're good.
really, really, really need to take a digital literacy class because. But yeah, they did not find human remains in the homes of Baldy Glocks to this point. Great match though.
Great match. What was I gonna say about this? Honestly, even the finish was crazy. Cash Wheeler, oh my god. I thought you were ready to die. Oh my
You you leave that bald man and be reincarnated as a lotus flower.
god.
Cash Wheeler?
Oh my god. I said they was jumping, hopping, skipping out the gym, doing things that eyes haven't seen. Bandito, oh my God. Well, look at the material. Brody King was busted open. Had, like I said, do we have color, folks? Do we have blood?
We sure do.
I said, oh, this is that real sicko shit. And then the hurt, listen, this is how
That was so corny in them t-shirts too.
They are peak Nike fleece black uncle. That was peak with the Matt hat
derogatory.
With the Matt derogatory. Like that was peak, like everything matchy. I said, oh, this is kind of cool. And I'm gonna be honest. And maybe y'all let me know if I was wrong. That pop wasn't where it was used to be. That we hurt people chance.
No, I'm over it, and I don't think I'm the only one.
Crowd that was hot for everything. It was noticeable that wasn't that loud.
And when you have a match this good, and then you pan to the tag champs, and nobody's excited about the tag champs.
Nobody believes
to the match. Like, what were you prepared to do about it? It's kind of obvious. But I also think man, a time limit draw in a tournament match, like, come on, tournament final. Come on.
And some people are telling me, they were like, well, the team that ends up winning, they're going to get such a big rub by defeating the Hurt Syndicate because they're so. I said, both of you the Hurt Syndicate is getting pinned.
Oh, they are. I have a plan. I have a plan.
Okay.
That's handled. You ain't got to worry about that.
Now I'm even more so convinced that FTR is going to win those belts so they can
no, they're not.
wrestle ENC at All Out in Toronto.
They're not going to do that. Oh my god! Can you imagine how much fucking TV time they're going to take on damn microphones? Oh my god! Jesus Christ!
That needs to be. And honestly, I don't even want that to move to Collision because I like Collision. I like Collision because it's a wrestling. I don't want y'all to do all that talking on Collision. That's
off air. Just do it off air.
Put it on social media.
Yes, please, so I can block it. But what was I gonna say? Also about FTR. Oh yeah, no, I tweeted. If Brodito loses, I'm whooping everybody ass. And yeah, this was close enough. Everybody bend over, hand me a switch. Because this is ridiculous. FTR! Get out of here! I'm over it.
Next, we did a little Swerve Okada video package. I thought that was really funny when they put the Hangman graphics up during the stuff. I don't know who be in that production truck, but you make me giggle. I really like that. They're just going to do this forever, and so I'm a big fan. Next, we had Hangman talking. This is where we get to the most frustrating part of the show. First of all, the Hangman Page World Title Run experiment is going swell. The hoes love it everywhere we go. I mean, everywhere we go.
Are you self-identifying as a hoe?
They said. I mean, no. I was just using hoes as a colloquial term, but
Hashtag hoes for Hangman.
I mean, works for me. But they over here, hey man, they over here, cowboy shit. They here, there, everywhere. Hey man saying whatever. He said, I'm gonna use my size 12 shoe. Everybody said, whoa. Wow! Wow! Wow!
You know, we got a comment. We got a comment on one of our shows a while back where a guy was like, I like y'all, but you seem kind of whitewashed because you really, really thirst after Hangman. First of all, crazy comment. Hello, how are you? Second of all,
I'm just
I
saying,
have been I have been conscious of it ever since he made that remark. It was one that stuck with me. So I have genuinely tried to scale it back a little bit. Because I said it was the same along the same lines as that guy that was like, y'all let that white devil make you laugh. I said, all right. All right.
don't say
But
that stuff to us.
but the thing about Hangman is, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do when his render is shirtless and he's sitting up here talking about his size 12 shoe and ostrich leather? What am I supposed to do? Genuinely, be fucking for real. What the hell? like, like I'm trying. I am trying, but he's got to meet me halfway.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I said, oh, you know, and at this point, especially after what we've seen from like recent weeks, you know your audience. I know you know your audience.
With
You
your friendship bracelets and your chaperone
you
stickers,
threw out,
you know who you talking to.
you threw out crumbs like you're feeding the ducks at a pond in the pond.
And everybody walked around and said, quack, quack. What the hell?
I said, oh my God. I couldn't believe my ears. I was scandalized. I said,
This used to be a classy party.
I tweeted, I said, I will not take the bait. That's what they want. Hashtag stay away from they.
I took the bait.
Yeah,
You know what? I just want to dap up his wife. Good work, girl. Good work. I'm trying to get like you. Hand me your game card.
Big sis.
Please. That's what we really need on this show. You know what? Hangman on the show would be too much. Hangman, your wife is welcome on the show anytime.
Like Sierra's prayer.
Yeah.
This is gonna be like Sierra's prayer.
I mean, Hangman, what's your girl prayer, please? Drop the verse, please. Send it to me, please.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat.
We need the prayer. But I genuinely forgot all that. Oh, bro. And then that amazing moment was ruined because MJF.
Here comes Scar.
I want to be arsonist. Hangman Bob burned down the house, so why can't I burn down the house? Oh my God, I get why, parents and stuff used to say back in the year, if your friend jumps off a bridge, you gonna jump off too? Are you gonna do what everybody else?
And you know what my thing about this whole thing was, right? Well, two things. I'm not a great person. I don't self-identify as a good person. I think that's too much pressure. So I was sitting here watching this segment and I was like, hey man, don't fall for that. Let them burn that man. If that is what it takes for us to keep that world title,
I said the same thing.
I think that you should let it burn.
And also too, it's Mark Briscoe. I believe that Mark Briscoe can survive anything. I believe that Mark Briscoe was literally raised on a chicken farm. The things that he's seen and he's probably been exposed to are probably not even FDA certified yet. So I think that we need to. He's going to be perfectly fine.
I think okay.
And also too,
Hangman, the world title. Don't lose focus, babe.
MJF
the world title.
Fake devil. MJF is a fake devil.
Fake demon. Fake demon.
He's a fake demon. He's not really about that arson life, okay? He's not.
No, because he's never done it. He's threatened to do it a bunch of times. He's never done it. And you know what else, right? I was watching this and I was like, I don't understand why you would have, even if you want to do this exact same angle, right? Do the same thing of like MJF being like, "Oh, I did get outsmarted, and I need to react to this." You can do this exact same angle, but not have had MJF last week say the words, "I am executing my contract," because
Absolutely.
that is supposed to be a final thing. That is supposed to be essentially your same as your cash in for a money in the bank. Once you say those words and you hand that over, that is supposed to be it. You don't get to take it back because you think you're not going to win. You don't get to do that. And so I found it, I just thought it looked goofy because you could have done the same thing and have MJF be like, "Oh, last week, yeah, you know what? You almost got me. You almost did, but I never said the words that I was gonna,
Yeah,
that I was gonna use my contract, but you did. So like,
I also think that, don't get me wrong, I really like MJF and Hangman's chemistry, but this is the second go around with them feuding. It's starting to, there are elements of it that remind me why some MJF feuds are oftentimes really hard to deal with, especially like with top guys. I think we saw with the Osprey feud a little bit too, is because it gets too complicated. Like, and I think, but for somebody like Hangman specifically, his feuds are so good because he's almost like a minimalist in nature. Real hate, real direct. He's either a loose cannon or he's straightforward. Like, it's very like minimalist. And so
but
like when the
sorry, go
MJ
ahead.
isms get added to it with like the contracts and stipulations and then taking this back, etc., it gets really muddied where it didn't have to be all that.
But I agree with you. But what I would say is that like I am to this point still very intrigued by this matchup because at this point
I
they
am too.
are they are trying to they essentially they're just trading rage bait week to week
Yeah.
because this week we saw Hangman regress, because after he went out there and he went out there with the security guards, he accidentally was whooping on the security guards, and it's like, so you're seeing that regression of actually we thought Hangman was fully healed, maybe he's not. And so if MJF is able to
Pause.
kind
Did
of,
we?
yeah,
You thought Hangman was fully healed?
no, well, not fully healed. We thought Hangman was better. We thought Hangman
I was
was
about to
doing
say he's
better.
still been
No,
low.
no, no, no,
He's
no.
still been
But
pretty low.
I think that that's part of why people love Hangman so much is that he will always be flawed. He will always have that. And so I actually don't fault MJF for trying to bring that back. And I think it's interesting that now we have a world champion that is a babyface, but he's still crazy. I do like that. I do like that that is the angle. And I think it makes sense for Hangman, and I think it makes sense for MJF to try to exploit. So I'm not against any of this at all. I'm just saying the actual retraction of the contract is not something you're supposed to be able to do after you've said that you're going to
I
execute it.
agree. I agree.
That's just not, that's not how things work. So that itself like took me out of it a little bit because I'm like, now how would that make sense? You done already told everybody, you done already made it official. Now we're taking it back, making it unofficial because you issued a threat that you made with a group that you just found on the street because your last group left you. So it's like, all right. But I think I do want this feud to continue past Forbidden Door because I do think that it still has legs and I think it can set Hangman up for his next feud very well. If we come out of this still as strong as I think we are now, Hangman will be set up successfully for his next feud and we'll have more of those seeds planted of, okay, so just how much crazy do he have left? Because that's the real question, you know? How healed versus how crazy. So I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I'm still in it. And I like that. I do like that we are having to think about the world title and we're having to think about what everyone's going to do. But
Yeah.
like there was no reason to do this back and forth with the contract shit.
At this point, I think like because Hangman having a short reign is just not even a,
No, no,
a question.
that's not an option.
But I'm assuming that MJF is either going to lose the contract to either Ricochet or to Mark Briscoe potentially. Um,
Probably.
but so hopefully because Can't have that world title, buddy. I don't know what to tell you.
Nope.
Can't do that. Going to arson for arson with a real arsonist. Good luck with
He's
that.
crazy. You fake demon.
But last but certainly not least, we had the main event, which was the tag team match. What I don't even have words. This was amazing. Like, this was really fantastic. Real all star, as in they are all stars.
Not whatever they had Statlander doing.
This was an all star. And also, too, I understand all of you ladies are great singles wrestlers. I want you to keep your careers going. We got something rolling with this tag division. We got something to go. Athena and Mercedes, the maneuvers that they was doing, I said, oh my gosh. And I'm going to be honest. How do I say this? I still really like Mina as a singles performer. Toni and Alex are a much better team than Toni and Mina ever were.
I would have to think on that. I understand where you're coming from, but I would have to think on it.
Like, people coming for Alex Windsor, I don't even see it. That's how far.
I don't understand that at all. I think she's been fantastic. I don't think she's missed yet since she's been in AEW, and I don't understand that at all. I understand.
Top 10 worker in that division.
I think that people might have something to say because she came in here and snatched some of y'all chains, but that's on you.
And also, too, she got real motion. They said she was in a ring tonight with Mercedes Moné, Athena, and Toni Storm, and they was cheering for her. Like, they said, Windsor, Windsor, Windsor. Like, no, she's really her. She's getting reactions wherever she go.
I like her. I need man, I really loved this match. Mercedes and Athena. Oh, talk about Black Girl Wrestling. The goats. Oh, this is my whole brand. Athena.
Man.
You will be AEW Women's World Champion on Sunday.
You was clapping them girls up, packing them up.
You will. There is no option. There is no scenario in my company that ends without you having that world title. And you know what? I also want to say, Toni Storm, absolute superstar. She has found her character, perfected it, and honestly, she has not missed in over a year. And this, I know you was on your 4th world title reign. The people, myself included, were like, do we need 4 before people like Willow and Seth have 1? Do we need 4? The answer is yes, we needed this 4th one because it puts the last 3 to shame. It puts the last 3 to shame. And I think that it is going to go down as one of the most memorable and influential world title reigns, certainly in this company's history, man or woman. And
decade, I would say.
Yeah, and people will be looking back on this and saying, wow, we weren't appreciating this enough in the moment.
Like, I honestly, don't get me wrong, it was an honor to be able, like, to witness, like, Mercedes be in that moment, and like if she had won, but I think it was just, well, maybe not just, but similarly fulfilling to see Toni win it all in, like, just because of what she genuinely has grown with the division. We've seen it in her character.
Yes,
she is the main character, like, by far. And even to, like, seeing now, like, what I've really loved about this feud with Athena, of just think about how many women have been platformed. Like, this is a reign that might be between 2 people, but think about how many people have been elevated in the process and who have gotten regular TV time. We've done more tag matches. We've done more trios matches. This is, like, Toni is now kind of, like, taking over. Now that we've got Mariah out of the way, she's now been able to lead the division, which I think has been really interesting, because it's weird because she's a character. And so, you know, you wonder, like, how is a character like her going to be like the captain publicly?
But she's doing
She's doing
so
it.
well that not only is she doing it, it all makes sense. It's like, yeah, of course that would be the natural progression of things that may be a little bit unorthodox on paper, but she is unorthodox, so yeah, that adds up. And yeah, I cannot say enough good things about this fourth world title reign for her. This has been everything and more. And she should be incredibly proud of herself
She's
for all that she has
celebrated
accomplished.
everybody. I
And
think
she will be. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying like Athena's return to TV wouldn't have been the same if it wasn't for Toni. Working Toni in
Agreed.
Alex Windsor's debut on TV wouldn't have been the same if it wasn't for Toni. And honestly, Mercedes' return to TV would not have been the same if it returned to Toni. This is the most that Mercedes has felt a part of the women's division. Like, she doesn't feel like an island at all anymore.
And you know what? She felt like an island for a while, and for a while, so did Toni.
Yes.
Before, because they wouldn't let them really cross paths. And Toni, when she was doing all the Mariah stuff, she was only doing the Mariah stuff.
Yeah.
And those two people existed only with each other and sometimes with Mina, who didn't work here yet,
Yeah.
And so to see this like kind of complete 180 of like actually most people in the division are interacting with Toni Storm and with Mercedes in some capacity. We're building matches outside of the world championship. And I think it's just like so telling of a character and so telling of a performer when, yes, I do think that Athena needs to be world champion. If Toni Storm won on Sunday, would it be the end of the world? No.
No.
But if Toni Storm drops that belt on Sunday, I do not think that she will suffer at all.
No.
She will
She'd
be
probably become a bigger
completely
star.
fine. She and I typically people drop the belt and they go away unless you're John Moxley and you drop the belt and you actually get stabbed in the forehead and then you're like, oh, matter of fact, I want to get back in the ring. But usually people go away for a little bit. If Toni Storm drops this belt on Sunday, she can come back on Wednesday and she could be absolutely fine with the audiences, but also we can make up a storyline. She could just be like, I have amnesia, I don't even remember any of that. I like I had too many espresso martinis and I don't know what you guys are talking about. So yeah, I think also, well, that's a whole other topic we could spend an hour on, so I won't bring that up. But it was about the conversations we had about the balance of the sexualization of a character and the wanting to make sure that folks are being taken seriously as performers and as wrestlers. And she has struck the balance. And I was someone who early on, especially with the Mariah stuff, was critical because I did not think that we were balanced.
But I do feel like it's valid. How do I say it? Toni is in a point in her career where she controls the gimmick and the gimmick doesn't control her.
Yes.
And I don't think that other women on screen may have had that type of autonomy. Even back then, I don't think that the problem that with like the over sexualization, it was ever probably with anything that Toni herself did directly, just because like Toni had such complete ownership of the character, of like the way that she performed the character. And I don't think that the other characters that she was opposite was as well executed as hers was, which makes it seem
that's fair enough.
Being forced,
I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, because when Toni Storm speaks, it's like, yeah, that's an outlandish thing to say, but that's fitting.
Yes.
There was a lot of times when that Mariah May feud, and I don't really want to get into it because it's midnight, but there were a lot of times during that Mariah May feud where I was like, it feels like we don't know what to say, so we're saying something that's gonna lead people's mind one way because you don't know what else to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that women's wrestling has come too far to be reliant on that. It should be a total, the way that Toni Storm is using it. and it should be, something that you can and should talk about if you want to. But like, if that's the only reason that you're getting a pop at some points, it's like when you're both really talented performers, we need to get back in the creative lab.
Absolutely.
And she did.
She
So
did.
that's what I want to give her props for, because she got back in that creative lab and she has nailed this character.
Speaking of everybody in their creative labs, just everybody's been fantastic. Athena, I think that honestly this has been so interesting for me is because I think that Athena is the best person on the mic that Toni has ever gone up against. And just like being able to trade back and forth with her silly comebacks and just be a character, like really think on their feet. Uh, um, and I think also too, like Mercedes having somebody to bounce off of. I think a lot of times because she had like, this star power, like, and not saying like she doesn't have it, but because she was like seen as such a star above everybody else on the roster, she was forced to do a lot of things by herself. And I think like that's never been her strong suit when it's talking, right? Like
And I was gonna say I think it's benefited Athena too, because I'm someone, I'm not a huge fan of Athena's promos for the most part, but I honestly I put Athena, Mercedes, and Kenny Omega in a very different category where I'm like, you know what? Yes, when they get on the mic, is it a little bit on the cob sometimes? Yes. Does that influence the way that I think about you in any way, shape, or form? Absolutely fucking not. I actually think it makes you more endearing.
Yeah.
I really do. Um,
You're
so
so good at wrestling that you just couldn't have it all.
exactly that, because that would be gluttony. That would be
that's the
that
greed
would
they
be
talk about in the
excessive.
Bible.
That's the greed they talk about in the Bible. So I'm not even worried about it. I'm not worried about it. Athena, come get your world title.
Absolutely.
Your AEW world title.
I mean, she's in the shape of her life. She sounds great. She's motivated. She's confident. And I'm going to be honest, like, for anybody that ever had any doubt and, that, Athena when Mercedes wasn't as big of a match as, Toni Mercedes, or that she wasn't just as big of a star as those two.
Athena Mercedes was better than Toni and Mercedes.
It was.
Send tweet. And Athena Mercedes 2 on pay-per-view will absolutely blow everything that you've seen out of the water.
I also think that, do you think that Athena Toni will be better than Toni Mercedes?
Yes. I have a controversial take in that I do not think too highly of Toni Mercedes. Not in a way that I thought it was bad, but I've said it on the show before, but like I felt like they put a lot of pressure on that to be the best match ever, and I think it was not. And it was still really good, but it wasn't. And so I do think that I look back on the match with a twinge of disappointment rather than, because you just built it up so much.
I think also they drew too much attention to what they left on the table. Like,
Exactly.
With the way that they were talking before that match. Like, Toni and Athena are real freaks. Like, I feel like they gonna get in the field.
Yeah, Jalen, it was missing something. Blood and true hatred. Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as it could have been, in my opinion. I think Toni and Mercedes was actually, in my opinion, by far not Toni Mercedes. I think Mercedes and Athena was actually by far a better match. Or at least something that I enjoyed a lot more. And when they get in pay-per-view minutes, everybody tuck your motherfucking chain, and that's your main event.
Absolutely. Also Persephone was out here. Shout out to her, that queen from CMLL. Very excited to see you at Forbidden Door. Also was announced. Hey, Bazilla said, "Free me from them Mari Gold streets. I want to go with the big steppers up here at Stardom." We moving on up. I gotta respect it. Oh, if you haven't seen the Stardom show from last night, I watched it today. Absolutely fantastic. those agendas are still alive. Momo Watanabe for the 5-star. That's wrapping up soon. The G1 climax. Have we talked since Takeshita won the G1?
We did a whole Twitter space.
Wait, oh no, we haven't been on the show yet.
Oh, yes, we have.
We have?
No, that was Sunday. I don't know.
Yeah.
All the days mixed together.
We did? I was about to say, I thought we were.
I don't know.
No, we haven't been on. We just did the space.
Okay. We have 2 minutes because we said we were going to be done at midnight. We have 2 minutes. Girls are going to get
You've been promoted!
We always knew you could do it. We always knew you could do it. And honestly, everybody that was thinking, oh, he's an outsider. Oh, he's going to be part-time. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck. She keeps talking about this. She keeps on here. She's going to play. Shut the fuck up. Because you know what? He has 3 contracts because he's the best in the fucking world. Everybody wants him. He can't do anything about that lyric.
I would also like to say, though, that was still terroristic booking. The way that he won. Evil, House of Torture, the things that y'all have done to my beloved Shin Nahan.
Defund House of Torture.
You will be held accountable. Also,
and nobody blames Tanahashi. This is all Chris Jericho's fault.
Yes, we'll give our Jericho theories later. They talking a lot about their Jericho these days. Anyway,
but let me not count my chickens for the hedge.
If you make sure you guys watch the Rev Pro shows this weekend.
Yeah,
really big.
What the hell?
A lot of talent has been announced for it. Mercedes is wrestling twice. Huge 10-man. Tanahashi teaming up with Michael Oku. Shibata in Speedball and Zozaya and was that Zack Sabre Jr. I think. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nigel was announced. Listen, it's not the doors. It might be more of a prohibited portal, but it still matters to me. Forbidden Door.
Billy Goat, you want to wrestle on that show so bad. And look, I know your neck don't work, but I mean, aren't those shots like 24 hours? So if you take a couple, then like I don't.
Kyle Fletcher also on that card. Who else is going to be? Yeah,
big proto star.
Yuya Uemura is booked, which makes me hope that he's booked for Forbidden Door. We would like to see you.
Do you think they're just going to announce some gauntlet?
And also because, what if they do Takeshita versus Yuya? Because Takeshita doesn't have a match for Forbidden Door yet.
I don't know if they'll do that so soon after the G1.
I mean, you can't have the G1 winner not on the card.
I completely agree. But I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of the show is just
a tag match with the family. They'll do like a.
I think that's a lot more likely. Proto Sheeta.
Well, it can't do Proto Sheeta because Kyle Fletcher is wrestling Hiromu.
So what?
But yeah, make sure you watch Rev Pro this weekend. Is the CMLL Grand Prix this weekend? I'm trying to think because I know Speedball's in it, Beast Mortos is in it.
I don't think it's this weekend, but
I don't think so either. Let's see.
Big soup. Guys, thanks for all the compliments. It gives me the courage and strength to go.
Oh no, it's not this weekend.
Fight the debt collectors so they don't repossess my horses.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for supporting the Dynamite Diaries. We will be back. We might do something for Forbidden Door. I think we might do a space pre-show. It's going to be early though, so we just have to wake up.
How early?
I mean, well, it's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern. Forbidden Door starts, so it's. Or is that the 0 hour? I don't know, but yeah.
I'm not watching 0 hour.
It depends on what they announce, because
I never watch 0 hour.
The Forbidden Door 0 hours are always good. So like
that's true.
Last year was LIJ versus Mystico and Lucha Bros, and
Yeah, but that's different.
Tomo Watanabe and Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale and Tam Nakano. Like,
yeah, which is crazy. Yeah, you people have lost your minds. Why is
like
that not on the right?
the
But
Forbidden Door, because I think like honestly, especially with all the women stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if they do like some all-star tag like Willow and Aminata and and company.
yeah.
So
In which case, if there are black girls, I will be there.
But alrighty, thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you next time.
You didn't even plug anything.
Oh, am I supposed to? What do I have to plug?
What you mean am I supposed to? This is your show.
This is our show.
Everybody thank Lyric for the house.
Why don't say it like that? Why would you say that?
I'm gonna start saying that every week now.
God, people are gonna think I'm a narcissist. What else am I gonna say? What am I plugging? Yeah,
you interviewed Willow earlier this week.
Interviewed Willow this week.
Why am I telling you?
It was really nice. It's published on Blavity, and the full video interview is also up on this YouTube channel. So
and she gave her so many compliments because guess what? They're both incredibly good at their jobs.
That was actually really, really nice, and I almost cried, and I couldn't cry because I don't cry in front of bad bitches.
That's a good philosophy.
Good rule of thumb. Not bad bitches don't cry, but just don't cry in front of bad bitches. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think that's all for me. I watched all the block matches of the G1 Climax tournament.
Yeah.
Pray for me. Yeah. What do you got?
I don't even know what day it is. New Black Girl Wrestling tomorrow. I don't know what it's about. We'll find out tomorrow. Thanks everybody for watching the Dynamite Diaries. We'll see you again next week. Bye.